we've got the Andor trailer. So let's. We haven't gotten to this. This debuted at Star Wars Celebration. We watched it, but we just never got around to doing our trailer breakdown. So let's do it. I'm going to pull it up here. There it is. Whoop, my bad. Okay, so here we go. We start the trailer, and I don't think we have any planet names that have been revealed yet for this series.
You know, not that I'm aware of, really. This trailer is fresh to me. I don't know anything. It appears that I find similarity in this environment to Jeddah City.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. That could be the fact that, you know, there's a lot of creatives that worked on Rogue One also working on this series, most notably Tony Gilroy. They're not bringing Gareth back for this series at all, are they? That's kind of a shame.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, here's the bell ringer.
And this is just such a, I mean, you really need somebody to tell you that this is Star Wars you're looking at here. Because this doesn't resemble anything Star Wars-y to me.
It has kind of a post-apocalyptic kind of vibe. So you see these villagers here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm assuming, Jim, is just some sort of warning system that they have. So they bang this this thing in the tower, and maybe it alerts the inhabitants that someone's coming or something's happening.
Assuming these scenes are connected at all.
Correct.
You know how trailers can play games with that way. So villagers, they're looking up, and it appears a ship is crashing onto their planet. These villagers look, they don't look like their society is very technological.
No, they definitely have a primitive vibe to them.
Primitive, yeah. Bows and arrows, that kind of thing.
Which we saw a lot of on the Clone Wars. It seemed like there was, you know, they were always dropping in on different cultures that were, you know, not quite as technologically advanced as the Jedi or the Separatists.
Yeah. Again, you have to tell me this is Star Wars.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we have seen kind of a junk planet like this. You know, Mayfeld was doing hard time in The Mandalorian with, you know, kind of a similar vibe.
There have been junkyard planets going back to Shadows of the Empire.
And here's some scientists.
Scientists in a lab.
Yeah. They don't seem to be decked out in the Imperial, like, you know, like Jin's dad was. They're not wearing the same Galen Erso scrubs.
No, not the same, but I get a similar feel from, you know, similar vibe. They could be part of that. Here's another, they're out on a grassy, hilly environment.
Well, now we're seeing, is that a hoodie?
Hoodies. There is a hoodie.
Oh, man. I wish I hadn't seen this. I don't want to go all Paul Bateman on it, but I don't know about the hoodie. I mean, is this the key grip that ended up in the frame?
That's the blue jeans guy from that episode of Mandalorian.
Because I was about to say,
there's another hoodie.
Another hoodie. Oh my God, there's another hoodie. Because I was looking at this dude's jacket, and I'm like, oh, okay, well that looks, you know, that's kind of got that, you know, it's sort of the green version of the yellow jacket Luke wears at the end of A New Hope, ceremonial Luke, with some of the, you know. Anyway, but yeah, hoodie invasion.
Yeah. Finally, my fashion sense has become Star Wars
That's
specific.
What it is. It's a Jimmy Mack tribute. All right, warning.
Green hoodie.
So they're more
that
banging.
Hoodie had a little Nike swoosh on it, I think.
No, oh God, don't say that.
Now this is the first thing I'm seeing that feels Star Wars to me. These are the Republic drop ships that we saw going back to Attack of the Clones and the battle in the Geonosis arena. Of course, these ships were seen heavily in the Clone Wars animated series, and here they are in Andor. So this is post Clone Wars era stuff, but these old ships are still in service.
All right, and looks like looks like these could be the survivors of that crash
Okay,
perhaps.
or scavengers.
Or scavengers, right, yeah.
Right. Or it's a funny hat convention.
Is that a Embo hat we see back there?
It does look kind of like that, yeah.
Uh-huh. Right. So so far, the vibe I'm getting, from this is just warning, invasion, something bad is coming. Everybody, whether these are obviously different planets, different locations, but everyone is sort of like taking cover or being told to take cover.
Yeah, before it hits the fan. And we see, clearly now we're seeing stormtrooper armor in the background of this shot of a young woman there. She's like leaning up against, it looks like she's trying to lay low.
Yeah.
She's trying not to be noticed by these Imperial troops. We don't know what her deal is, obviously, but she's up to something.
Up to something.
She's up to something, this one. I could just tell.
We know espionage is a big part of this. This is a spy series, a spy thriller.
So these guys, the door gets open here. These guys look like some sort of officials, like maybe cops, and they're dressed in that feels Star Warsy to me.
The hats, for sure. Imperial officer style hats, different color scheme.
I get kind of like a mashup between an Imperial officer and a Bespin guard.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, not so much as far as the accuracy. Again, these are vibes I'm just getting, vibes.
Yeah. Or it's the Census Bureau.
Yeah, here they are. How many people live in here?
Oh, now we get to see Cassian. So Cassian looking around. I think we're going to see him lurking around corners a lot.
Yeah. Poking his head around the corner, snooping in the shadows.
And this is going to be, I think we're going to see some de-aging going on probably in some of these episodes because we're going to be seeing a younger version of him.
Well, yeah, he started this fight when he was 12 years old or 6 years old. 6 years old. That's what it was. 6, not 12.
Oh, there's some more stormtroopers.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see. Very Star Warsy. Here it looks like those scientists are sitting around in a conference room now. The room itself feels Star Warsy to me. There's an Imperial cog on the walls, so we know these guys are probably scientists, much like the ones Galen Erso was working with.
Yeah, it's a very sterile environment. As
hologram projector there on the floor in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's probably the lead guy, right? He has all blue, what do you call it? Rank,
the insignia, rank insignia on his, yeah.
Wearing the white Imperial officer garb of the Imperial Security Bureau.
He's got those pens. Those pens in the pockets.
the code cylinders.
Yes.
But yeah, we've often seen that look for the security guys, going back to Admiral Yularen in A New Hope. But Krennic wore this stuff. He wore kind of a whitish Imperial officer shirt.
Yeah.
And these guys, but I'm just getting like, again, scientist vibes off of him.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And he's got kind of longer hair. So, we might be seeing a little bit of that 70s aesthetic that we saw in Rogue One a bit.
Good call.
A shaggier look.
We saw some sideburns that made me think of that earlier. A couple of Imperial officers having a drink in what appears to be some sort of control room.
Calf break.
It's something stronger, I think.
Yeah.
You got some Jim Beam in there.
All right. And so this young lady, we've seen her. I don't know if has she been announced as far as do we have an actress's name maybe?
I'd have to
but we've seen her a couple of times. I'm guessing maybe a love interest for Cassian. But
perhaps
she's taken on.
Adria Arjona.
Okay.
I think that's the actress's name. From what I'm looking at here on the cast list. She's from Pacific Rim. She's a Puerto Rican actress. I think that's her. It's hard to tell. And she is going to be in this Andor series. I don't have a name for her character yet.
Oh, this is pretty cool. Now we're in a pretty sophisticated perhaps city. We got a building with all these elevators going up and down, and we see a lot of
and sideways.
And we see a lot of sky traffic above. So a lot of so definitely, I mean, this could be Coruscant.
Could be,
maybe.
Could be. They're everywhere. Could be Orlando. Death Troopers.
Death Troopers with looks like a high-ranking Imperial officer.
Death Troopers, or are they Purge Troopers?
Oh, geez.
God, it's hard to tell because they have the shoulder pad on.
The pauldron.
The pauldron. Thank you. And I don't recall if Death Troopers have that, and they don't look as tall, but I think they are Death Troopers. I'm not sure.
She's important.
They're watching me now.
Now.
Okay, Mon Mothma.
Yeah, Mon Mothma, Genevieve O'Reilly. And what we know about this series, Jim, is that it's really, a tale of two stories. There's the Cassian Andor story, and then there's the Mon Mothma story. Obviously, they're going to intersect, but I think there's going to be a lot of, individual attention to each character.
The speeder that flies in reminds me a little bit of the one Zam Wessel was flying around in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
A little bit. Or the one that Anakin was flying. It's blue and it's enclosed. But I love those speeders that look like cars. They look like old
it's very
cars
George.
From the 40s and 50s. Yes. And so this is Mon Mothma's ride. And she's paranoid because people are watching everything she's doing.
Right.
So they're watching me now.
So we see her this is, I think, the first time we've ever seen her in something not white.
Right.
So this is her at, maybe some function, we might think, like a
banquet.
Right. And you can see the look on her face. She's smiling, but, she's, like you say, paranoid. And a lot of green here.
The smile seemed to melt away too.
Yeah, right.
This reminds me a lot of the planet Galen Erso was hanging out on at the beginning of Rogue One.
Oh yeah,
when Krennic paid him a visit and killed his wife and took him with her.
All right,
these guys again. Here's one of those shots you'd have to tell me this is Star Wars. This actually looks like it's something on one of those Ewok adventure films. Just from the wardrobe to the background, they're in a wooded area.
Well, remember, Jim, when we saw some of the earliest set reconnaissance photos, and we saw these sort of hut-like dwellings.
Yeah. We were told that stuff was from Kenobi.
Yeah.
But it's not surprising me to see it in the Andor trailer now. I think we were sort of 50-50 on those images when they were given to us.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're from Andor or Kenobi. What's that?
Well, we see a guy
on the ridge
looking at through some macro binoculars here. Looks like he's holding a staff or a cane.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what he's looking at. It looks like some sort of industrial type of operation set up on a mesa.
Yeah.
These days
he looks really familiar to me.
He
when
sure
I saw
does.
This looks like a character actor. I don't have a name.
Oh, that's Stellan Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. That's right. Yes.
Yeah, that's who that is.
So I'm thinking he is maybe the sort of the top rebel spy would be maybe he's like the M of the rebel spy ring. He's going to be a character of some weight, I think.
He's the original rebel scum. Stellan is only marked down for one episode here, according to IMDb. So something tells me a lot of these images we're seeing here are from the first episode of the series. Yeah. And that would be consistent with the way they market all of this stuff.
Yeah, good point. This is pretty cool. So we see a large base or landing platform right in the middle of huge body of water. I don't know if this is a water planet. I don't think this is a water planet, but there's several of these. Maybe this could be the Star Wars equivalent of aircraft carriers. Getting a little Top Gun action here.
Yeah, it definitely has a very naval vibe. I mean, obviously they're water-based platforms or ships or whatever they are. They look like just big pie tins, sort of in the shape of the Imperial cog. We can't see inside it to see if the actual
octagon there, sort of
yeah. But and there's 4 of them that you can see. It's not a water planet though, because you can see land.
Oh, there are
the
mountains
horizon.
there. Yeah, right.
Very Star Warsy.
Oh yeah.
Imperial officer emerging from a shuttle with coming down the ramp with steam shooting out, a la the Imperial shuttle in Return of the Jedi. It was Kirsch who brought that idea of having steam shooting out of the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, was that right?
He thought it just brought a lot of life to the set. It made it feel like it was an actual mechanical transport that we're looking at.
Well, he was right.
You have to ask yourself, why would starships be operating on steam? But whatever.
Well, there are, those steampunk guys. They think a lot of them claim Star Wars as a steampunk aesthetic.
As George Lucas said, it is whatever you want it to be.
That's right.
There will be no rules going forward.
Is this a cloning facility?
It looks very much like the Camino cloning facility from episode 2. Those don't look like clones.
They don't look like clones. Yeah.
They all look very different. So it could be some sort of medical facility. Maybe it's a place where they're bringing in recruits.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe we're going to see some of that transition from clones to a live action transition. We're seeing some of that in Bad Batch, but that transition from clones to the what do they call that? Conscripted? I don't know what the word is, but conscripted troops.
Yeah, or enlisted.
Yeah. All right. We see somebody looking at a hollow transmission of Cassian.
That is Cassian. Okay. And this is where we might be seeing some of your de-aging speculation coming into play, because it looks like Cassian and it doesn't look like Cassian at the same time.
The hollow.
And who is that guy? And who's the guy looking at it too?
I don't know, but he looks like an 80s villain, like the clean cut guy that you can't trust. His hair is too nice.
This is an actor named Kyle Soller, and he is said to be in one episode of Andor, according to IMDb. Kyle Soller. I think that's him. It's hard to tell. Could
More banging on things. This is the dinner bell. A lot of banging.
The dinner bell now. We have it broken down. The first one was a warning. The second one is dinner.
I think this is the back of that Kyle guy you were talking about. That's what I'm thinking.
Could be. Here we are in the Imperial Senate. This is what I like to see. Something bridging the gap between the prequels and the original trilogy. Of course, we know the Senate is in session all the way up until the events of A New Hope, when it's revealed by Tarkin that the Emperor has disbanded the Senate. So,
and we think this is Mon Mothma, right?
I think that is Mon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yaman.
And there's that female Imperial officer here. And walking through some troops.
They look to be wearing the same armor that Agent Kallus was wearing in Star Wars Rebels. Very similar vibes.
And doesn't Han Solo wear some of that in Solo? Alden Ehrenreich's Solo?
The Mud Trooper. Yeah. They could be Mud Troopers too. Now that I'm getting a better look with those goggles up on top. That's probably who they are, Mud Troopers.
Oh, is that a TIE fighter that flew by?
Yeah, and you can also see an Imperial shuttle of some sort.
Yep, that is a TIE fighter, yeah.
Yeah, very Star Warsy looking.
Oh, yeah.
Outdoors. As the guy's walking down some catwalk. A lot of people walking from behind in this.
Yes, oh yeah. There's a cloaked figure with a hood. I don't think that's a hoodie. I think that's a full-on robe.
Okay.
Standing up.
Oh, clone troopers, baby.
Were those clone troopers?
Those are clone troopers.
Oh, they sure are. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
the final phase clone troopers.
Mhm.
So again, going back to what we were talking about, the transition between clone trooper and stormtrooper,
Yeah.
that could be on full display in this series. Oh, that's exciting. I did
Very
not
cool.
realize that. Yeah.
Oh, a bloodied civilian here.
Not too often we see blood in Star Wars.
Right.
And I know that there was a lot more blood in Gareth Edwards' earlier cuts of Rogue One, and those were really toned down a lot. If you look at some of the earliest trailers for Rogue One, you'll see bloody faces like this. And then when you see the final film, that's not the case. Just thought I'd point that out. There's that speeder again. Is that Mon's
This
speeder?
is a different
or is that a
speeder.
different
Yeah,
one?
it doesn't
That's a
have that
different one.
forked front.
It looks like a different planet altogether as well.
Yeah, there's more of those blue-clad officers, it looks like, Jim. Yeah.
Yeah, they could be local security. Maybe
Where's
corporate
that guy?
guild.
Whoop, jumped ahead, but there's that guy we were talking about. He was looking earlier at the Cassian hologram. He looks unhappy as a now this what may have happened here is an act of terrorism is what I'm thinking. Perhaps the rebels have struck here, or the whoever's
Could be.
that's what I'm thinking.
But that would more or less indicate that these guys in blue are Imperials.
You don't think so?
I don't think they're Imperials. No.
Okay. Oh, that's a cool shot. Is this
somebody jumping into a TIE fighter?
TIE fighter.
That's in the dock.
Gonna commandeer that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't look to be a TIE fighter cockpit. That's another ship.
And I think that's Cassian flying.
Yep, it is Cassian. There he is. Without the goatee.
Very Star Wars looking ship.
That's what a reckoning sounds like. So some old lady.
Yeah, an old lady, she's
got a ring light there. She's about to do some TikToking. Is that what that is? It looks like a lamp.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting image, an interesting character to end the trailer with.
Yeah.
Said old lady, I believe that's Fiona Shaw, an actress named Fiona Shaw. She was in My Left Foot. She is also scheduled to only be in one episode of Andor. So again, I think a lot of the things we're seeing are from the first episode here.
Yeah, well, like look at Werner Herzog. There was so much made out of, him being in Mandalorian, and he didn't even make it out of the first season.
I'm relieved that we're not getting Mandalorian level hype for Andor. As a matter of fact, Andor seems relatively low on the hype spectrum.
I agree. There hasn't been a lot of hay made out of this. And this may be, like Rogue One, this may be a sleeper hit. This may be the one that works for. And there's so many, very vocal Rogue One fans that, still say that it's the best in the post-George era. The best of Star Wars is Rogue One. So there we go. August 31st. We'll be there. Rebel Force Radio after show. We will be bringing you all the conversation after these episodes air. But lots of fun.
Yeah, you know it.
Lots of fun.